And, you know, I didn't even have homework to do because they didn't give me much homework, um, but like, yeah, I don't know where these kids got their alcohol because they were partying all the time. But, yeah, we were kind of crazy. Like me and my roommate one night, um, just for the fun of it, like it was like 4 in the morning on like a weeknight, and like I was drinking like a soda, and he's like, throw that up against the wall. Which is like this big like brick wall. And so I threw it up against the wall like after I opened it. It was just like full of soda, or even before I opened it. So then he threw one, and so we both threw them all up against the wall. So we thought that was cute. So we went and grabbed um, the recycle bin, and we pulled it up to the window of our dorm room, and we just pulled bottles out of it, like glass bottles, and threw it up against our wall until they smashed to bits. Just like screaming for like 10 or 15 minutes until the whole floor of our room was like filled with like 4 inches of glass. And then we ran off like on the campus, just like, I don't know. My roommate was kind of crazy. Like he liked to start trouble with people, so we would like run off and like yell at people. And I guess one time he started trouble with one kid, he and his friend, because they didn't even care. Like neither of them came back the second semester. They were like trying to get kicked out. They caused trouble with some kid, and the kid punched my roommate's friend in the face, but they didn't hit him back, and they just went and told like the RA or something, and then so that got that kid kicked out of school, and the kid's like, I guess like his grandparents were paying for him to go there, and it was like bad. But yeah. Anyway, we come back, and like there's this note in my room, in our room, like, you know, like saying that like they got a call from like everybody in the dorm room saying like we were fighting. And it's so funny because he's like, call us immediately in the note. So he's like, well, what do you want to do? You want to call? Yeah, I'm like, no, you call him. So he picked up the phone. He goes, hey, yeah, this is Chad. Oh yeah, just midterm stress. Okay, later. He's like totally calm. It's funny. And nobody ever said anything to us after that. We just cleaned it up, and it was like nothing ever happened. Um, but wacky. But anyway, my school, I had this like class like that was in the next dorm over, which was like 20 feet from my room in the basement, and it was like I was back in grade school. It was like we didn't go to from this class to the next class to the next class like in high school or like how college usually is. We only had one class, and it was for 17 credits, but it was just one class all day long. You know, with like an hour lunch break or whatever. And I don't even remember. It was like some kind of like you have different teachers come in and just teach you, and it was like some experimental thing. And we went to, and it was like 30 people, and we did like a week-long trip to the Grand Canyon one time within a bunch of buses, which was fun. I signed up to be one of the bus drivers, and I even took a driver's test to get to be one of the van drivers. And I tried to drive at one point, but this one kid who was like he knew I was been smoking a bunch of weed in the back seat, and he didn't want to let me drive because I was stoned, which I guess makes sense. But um, but anyways, we ran down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and then back up it in one day. That was pretty fun. Um, I had a friend who was this Indian dude who was like a climber who I hung out with. He was like my best friend. And in spring break, we like went climbing in Waco tanks, and he did all these. He did all the leading, and I would like go. I would like follow him. I'd be like the belayer dude. And we did like a few like 4 pitch climbs, which is fun, but because it was like these big holes, so it was pretty easy, but it scared the shit out of me. Like I have like way bad problems with fear of heights. So, like, I'm not a climber, and I never will be. But it was crazy that I actually did that shit. Anyway, we went into Mexico one night, and got totally wasted, and, like, got lost, and couldn't find our way to the border again. And, like, oh man, 15 minutes already, and I'm only on first year? I should only talk about the crazy, dramatic, crazy stories. This is going to make me come across crazy, but I'm only putting, like, the crazy shit. And we couldn't find the border, so we finally come back, and then the next morning we look at the car, and, like, all the wheels are out of true, because we hit so many potholes. And, he wanted to go to a whorehouse, and we went in there, totally wasted, and I saw all these, like, Mexican girls who, like, weren't that hot, so I was like, oh, no way, so I left, but before him, but he said he got, like, mugged, like, they made him give him $10 or something. Sucks. He was all pissed off at me for that. But, anyway, we climbed a few more days, and we went back, and, but on the drive down at, like, midnight, we saw this comet flying across the sky with, like, flames coming off the back of it, like flames that were on fire, like little bits of flame, and it lit up the sky like it was daytime. It was crazy. For like a whole second, we pulled over, we pulled behind some cop who was arresting some guy for a DUI or something. And we're like, what the fuck was that? And he's like, oh, there's like a military installation near here. I'm like, what? They're testing some kind of plane that can look like a comet or something like that? And we were just like, he acted like he'd seen that kind of stuff all the time or something. It was crazy. But, let's see, I had another best friend, guy who we went on the acid trip with in the hot springs. He was like a bike racer. Like, I saw him at the bike race at the beginning, like at the beginning of school or sometime near, we had this bike race, like a mountain bike race for the students. And, like, they had, like, two divisions, like, expert racers and, like, intermediate racers, and I decided to race expert, even though I didn't race that summer. I was still, like, in pretty good shape, because I had done 2 16-day backpacking trips, and, you know, I'm 18 years old, you're still fit. So, like, I sprinted ahead, and I was in first place up until, like, a couple turns, and then people passed me, and I ended up getting in 5th, which is pretty good. My buddy was 4th, and so then I was like his main training partner, so we'd like ride all the time, like on the weekends and after school and stuff, like down to Farmington, to the outskirts of Farmington, and where we get stoned and then ride back, and that was really fun. We go like really fast, because he's like a Cat 1 bike racer, so I was basically just like hanging on his wheel like, oh God, dear God, but I'd pull through a few times. Up until spring break, and then I couldn't. But like throughout the winter, you know. And we made a sweat lodge, actually, with my Indian buddy. And we did that a few times. That was fun. Right on the edge of a river, on this land of one of the kids who I was in class with. Like, parents had a friend who let us put a sweat lodge there, right outside of town. That was cool. And we did a few of those with some, my friend and his girlfriend, some other girl, and then, like, let's see, that kid, and then my buddy, and then my bike racer buddy, and yeah, it was pretty fun. We did that a few times. I think maybe even I was on acid on one of them or something, but we got that really hot. It was really cool, man. Yeah, it was really cool. But, let's see, but then, we did, let's see, oh yeah, but that winter was like the biggest snowstorm like ever, it seemed like. And we had, me and my Indian buddy, just by chance, had the same ski class. There was only 3 of us in the whole ski class. Me, my Indian buddy, and this girl, and who I actually went to high school with in 10th grade. But it was a telemark ski class for, like, you know, phys ed credits or something at Purgatory, which is only like a half-hour drive from Durango, and it's actually a pretty good ski resort. And with all that snow, it was awesome. I had the season pass that year, and It's actually the only year in school that I had a season pass there. I didn't have a car, but my buddy had a car, and